Welcome back to the channel everyone. Today we're about to witness a clash of giants, a face-off between two of the most advanced and deadliest fighter jets in the modern skies. On one side, a European marvel born from collaboration and precision engineering, the Eurofighter Typhoon. On the other side, a Russian beast, the Su-35S Flanker-E, a jet that carries the DNA of raw power and unmatched maneuverability. This isn't just a comparison, it's a battle of philosophies, of design choices, of East versus West in the unforgiving arena of aerial combat. Imagine a clear sky turning into a battlefield where radar locks scream warnings in the cockpit, where pilots push their machines to the absolute limit, where one small mistake could decide victory or defeat. That's the kind of high-stakes environment these two fighters were built for. The Typhoon, sleek, agile, and loaded with cutting-edge avionics, represents Europe's answer to maintaining air superiority in NATO's skies. Meanwhile, the Su-35S, muscular, aggressive, and dripping with Russian innovation, is designed to dominate dogfights and challenge even stealth rivals with its long-range strike power. Both jets are considered 4.5 generation fighters, meaning they sit in that sweet spot just before the 5th generation stealth jets like the F-35 and Su-57. But here's the catch: both are so advanced, so lethal, that in the hands of skilled pilots, they can still go toe-to-toe with almost anything flying today. So, which one comes out on top? Is it the precision of the Eurofighter, backed by NATO's massive technological ecosystem, or is it the brute force of the Su-35S, relying on supermaneuverability and missile reach to crush opponents? Get ready, because we're about to break it all down. Now let's talk about the pride of Europe, the Eurofighter Typhoon. This jet isn't just an aircraft, it's a symbol of multinational collaboration, advanced aerospace technology, and NATO's determination to stay ahead in aerial warfare. Born in the late Cold War era, when the Soviet threat still loomed large, the Typhoon was developed by a consortium of European nations: Germany, the United Kingdom, Italy, and Spain. Each country poured its expertise into this machine, creating a fighter that would become one of the most recognizable and respected jets in the world. The Eurofighter is a true swing-role aircraft. That means it can shift roles mid-mission, moving from air-to-air dominance to ground strike without missing a beat. Its design philosophy revolves around agility, precision, and survivability. Just one look at the aircraft tells you what it's meant for. Its delta wing and canard configuration give it incredible maneuverability, making it one of the most agile fighters in service today. In a turning fight, this bird is no joke. It was built to outmaneuver anything from the Flanker family to older American jets like the F-15. But the Typhoon isn't just about aerobatics. Its avionics and sensor systems are where the magic truly happens. Equipped with the Captor radar, and later upgraded with the Captor EAESA radar, it offers powerful tracking, multi-target engagement, and high resistance against jamming. This gives the pilot superior situational awareness, something that often decides the outcome before a single missile is launched. Add to this its defensive aids subsystem, or DAS, which provides electronic countermeasures, threat detection, and decoy systems, and you've got a jet that's extremely hard to surprise. When it comes to weapons, the Typhoon carries some of the most advanced missiles in the world. The Meteor Beyond Visual Range missile is a game changer. With its ramjet propulsion, it maintains high speed throughout its flight, making it nearly impossible to evade once locked. In close combat, the jet can rely on IRIS-T or IS-RAM short-range missiles, both designed for high-agility dogfights. For strike missions, the Typhoon can deliver precision-guided bombs like the Paveway series or Storm Shadow cruise missiles, making it a true multi-role powerhouse. Let's not forget performance. The Typhoon is powered by two Eurojet EJ200 turbofan engines, each producing 20,000 pounds of thrust with afterburner. That gives it a top speed of Mach 2 and a blistering rate of climb, meaning it can get into the fight quickly or disengage just as fast. Unlike stealth fighters, which rely on hiding, the Typhoon is all about overwhelming its opponent with speed, agility, and superior weapons. But perhaps its greatest strength lies in the ecosystem around it. As part of NATO, the Eurofighter benefits from shared intelligence, joint training, and interoperability. In real combat, it wouldn't be flying alone, it would be backed by AWACS, electronic warfare assets, and allies feeding it constant information. That's the edge of being part of a massive military alliance. The Typhoon has already proven itself in combat. It's seen action in Libya, Syria, and Iraq, performing air superiority missions, precision strikes, and patrols. Each mission tested its systems, and each mission refined its reputation. Nations like Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Kuwait also operate the Typhoon, showing just how trusted and respected this jet has become worldwide. At the end of the day, the Eurofighter Typhoon represents Europe's philosophy, advanced avionics, agility, and teamwork. It's not just about dogfighting, it's about owning the skies with precision, efficiency, and reliability. On the other side of the battlefield, we have the Su-35S, Russia's apex predator of the skies. If the Eurofighter Typhoon is about precision and European collaboration, the Su-35 is about raw strength, brute force, and an aggressive design philosophy that screams dominance. This jet is the latest evolution of the legendary Flanker family, a bloodline that began with the Su-27 during the Cold War. But make no mistake, the Su-35S is no ordinary upgrade. It's a 4.5 generation powerhouse that Russia proudly calls its most advanced non-stealth fighter, and some even call it a stepping stone toward the Su-57. Let's start with its design. The Su-35S is massive compared to the Typhoon, longer, wider, heavier. It was built to carry more fuel, more weapons, and to stay in the fight longer. Its aerodynamic frame, combined with thrust vectoring engines, makes it one of the most maneuverable fighters in the world. In close-range dogfights, this jet can pull off stunts that seem to defy physics: cobra maneuvers, tail slides, and high angle of attack turns that can leave opponents scrambling just to keep track of it. This kind of agility isn't just for show. Within visual range combat, it's a nightmare for any enemy pilot. Now let's talk about power. The Su-35S is equipped with two Saturn AL-41F1S engines, each producing 31,000 pounds of thrust with afterburner. That's more thrust than the Typhoon EJ200S, and when paired with 3D thrust vectoring, it turns the Su-35S into a monster in the skies. It can supercruise, sustain high speeds, and outlast many of its rivals thanks to its huge internal fuel tanks. Range is one of its biggest advantages. It can patrol vast territories without needing refueling, something critical for a country as large as Russia. But the Su-35S isn't just about brute force, it's loaded with advanced avionics and sensors. Its air-to-sea radar is a powerful passive electronically scanned array PESA system, capable of detecting targets at extreme ranges up to 400 kilometers in some scenarios. It can track multiple targets and guide long-range missiles, giving the Su-35S serious beyond visual range capability. On top of that, the Su-35S integrates infrared search and track IRST systems, allowing it to spot stealthy or low-radar cross-section aircraft without relying on radar emissions. That's a big deal in a world where stealth fighters roam the skies. When it comes to weapons, the Su-35S has an arsenal that would make any pilot nervous. It carries the R-77-1 and the newer R-37M long-range air-to-air missiles, the latter capable of hitting targets over 300 kilometers away. For close-range fights, it relies on the R-73 and R-74 infrared-guided missiles, which are highly agile and deadly in a dogfight. On top of that, it can carry an enormous loadout of air-to-ground weapons, anti-ship missiles, and guided bombs. In total, the Su-35S has 12 hardpoints, giving it insane flexibility in combat missions. But what really sets it apart is its combat endurance. With large fuel capacity and aerial refueling capability, the Su-35S can fly longer missions than many of its Western rivals. In Russia's vast geography, that's not just an advantage, it's a necessity. And unlike the Eurofighter, which relies heavily on NATO support systems, the Su-35S is built to operate independently, carrying its own long-range sensors and weapons to fight far from home bases. The Su-35S has already made its presence felt in real-world conflicts. It has flown missions in Syria, providing both air superiority and ground strike support. It's also been deployed near NATO airspace, shadowing Western aircraft and sending a clear message: Russia is ready to contest the skies. While its true combat record against modern NATO fighters hasn't been tested in a direct clash, its capabilities alone make it one of the most respected and feared jets flying today. At its core, the Su-35S reflects Russia's philosophy of air combat: build a jet that can dominate in close-range dogfights, reach out with long-range missiles, and endure longer missions without relying on a huge support network. It's fast, it's powerful, and it's designed to scare off anything that dares to challenge it. And here we are, the ultimate showdown: Eurofighter Typhoon vs Su-35S. Two machines from two worlds, built on two completely different philosophies of air combat. One is all about European precision, networked warfare, and high-tech avionics. The other is raw Russian muscle, extreme maneuverability, and brutal long-range missile power. So, how do they stack up head-to-head? Let's break it down. First, let's talk about speed and performance. The Su-35S, with its monstrous Saturn engines, has more raw thrust and can carry more fuel, giving it a longer combat radius and endurance than the Typhoon. In terms of sheer range and time on station, the Russian jet has the edge. The Typhoon, however, isn't far behind. Its EJ-200 engines push it past Mach 2, and with its lightweight design, it accelerates fast and can climb like a rocket. In a sprint or quick intercept mission, the Typhoon is often faster to the fight. Next up, maneuverability. This is where the Su-35S shines like no other. Thanks to thrust vectoring, it can pull off jaw-dropping aerobatic stunts and maintain control at extreme angles of attack. In a close-range dogfight, if a Typhoon pilot isn't careful, the Su-35S could twist and turn into the perfect firing position. But hold on, the Typhoon isn't defenseless here. Its canard delta design gives it razor-sharp agility, lightning-fast roll rates, and excellent high-G maneuvering. While it can't quite match the Su-35S's post-stall tricks, it's still an incredibly nimble jet that can hold its own in a knife fight. Now let's shift to the avionics and sensors. This is where Europe takes the lead. The Typhoon's Captor EAESA radar gives it superior detection, tracking, and jamming resistance compared to the Su-35S Airbus PESA radar. While the Su-35S radar is powerful and long-ranged, it's not as stealthy, reliable, or resistant to electronic countermeasures as a modern AESA system. And when you add NATO's electronic warfare and data link networks into the mix, the Typhoon gains a huge situational awareness advantage. Simply put, The Typhoon pilot often knows where the Su-35 is long before the Su-35 knows it's being hunted. But radar isn't everything. The Su-35S IRST system gives it an edge against stealthier opponents, detecting heat signatures without broadcasting radar waves. Against a Typhoon, this could be useful in close encounters, allowing the Russian pilot to silently stalk an opponent. Still, in modern warfare, information dominance is king, and that's where the Typhoon excels. Let's move on to weapons. The Typhoon's crown jewel is the Meteor missile, a beyond visual range weapon that outclasses almost anything else in service. Its ramjet engine means it doesn't just sprint toward its target, it sustains speed, giving it a no-escape zone much larger than the Su-35S R-77 missiles. If the Typhoon fires first in a BVR engagement, the Su-35 pilot is in real trouble. The Su-35, however, can hit back with the R-37M, a massive missile with extreme reach. This weapon is deadly against large, less maneuverable aircraft like AWACS or tankers, but against agile fighters like the Typhoon, it's less reliable unless launched under favorable conditions. In short, the Meteor gives the Typhoon the edge in BVR duels, while the Su-35S missile variety gives it flexibility in mixed missions. Now, let's picture combat scenarios. In beyond visual range battles, the Typhoon has the advantage. Better radar, better missiles, better networking. It can fire first and disengage if needed, all while staying connected to NATO assets like AWACS. But if the fight goes within visual range, the story changes. The Su-35S supermaneuverability, helmet-mounted sights, and agile short-range missiles make it a terrifying opponent in a dogfight. Here, the Russian jet could outfly the Typhoon if it can survive long enough to get close. And then there's the strategic factor. The Typhoon doesn't fight alone. It's always part of a larger NATO machine, supported by allies, AWACS, and refueling aircraft. That means in real-world combat, it operates in a web of information and support, making it deadlier than it looks on paper. The Su-35S, on the other hand, is built to fight more independently, carrying big fuel loads and long-range sensors to patrol huge swathes of airspace. For Russia, that independence is critical, but it also means the Su-35S might face opponents without the same level of support it would ideally need. So, which one wins? The truth is it depends. In a clean one-on-one, no support, the Su-35S has the tools to dominate close-range combat, while the Typhoon is deadlier at long range. But in the real world, the Typhoon's integration into NATO systems and its Meteor missile give it a very dangerous edge. The Su-35S may be a monster of maneuverability, but if it never gets the chance to close the distance, all that agility doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the Typhoon represents Europe's precision, speed, and teamwork, while the Su-35S embodies Russia's philosophy of power, range, and dogfighting dominance. They're both incredible machines, feared and respected worldwide. And if they ever faced each other in the skies for real, the outcome would come down to the pilot, the strategy, and the environment just as much as the aircraft themselves. So, Eurofighter Typhoon or Su-35S, which one do you think takes the crown? Drop your thoughts below, and let's see who the community thinks would rule the skies.